This session will focus on the search capability of the product. And as you can see in the upper right hand side, we have in the box a choice of searching for content, people, or groups. So let's look at content. Let's say we're working on a project. In this case, we were working with NASA and a number of universities and high schools in the areas of robotics. So I am looking for anything that's relative in terms of robotics. And as you can see, iQ4 has come back with 59 different areas that it has found the word robotics. These include discussion groups and files. It could include things such as lesson plans. So in addition to content, we can also look for people. Let's say we're working on a project and we're looking for folks who've got background in web design. You simply put in the word web design and you can see back in display quite a number of people that have web design background. In addition, on the left side, you can now go through and select to refine the criteria. For example, if we're looking for web designers who've got experience with Androids, there's 14 here. So we'll select those 14. Here are the people involved, and like we displayed before, you can simply go to that person directly and find out the kind of background that they have within web design. In addition to the index-based search, iQ4 provides a very powerful advanced search capability. So if we wanted to look for people and we wanted to do a search based on, let's say, location or school, we'll just say NYU in this case, and we're looking for web designers at NYU. iQ4 will now produce, as you can see here, Poly Institute, NYU, Polytech, NYU. These are all NYU students that have got web design background. We can further then refine the search on the left side. For example, if we're looking for somebody in Wayne, New Jersey, it will show us specifically who that person is. So iQ4 provides a very powerful search engine that can search and refine information that's relative to your project, whether it be content, people, or groups that have been involved in discussing or been involved in different projects relative to what you're working on. We're already set up with a project. We're doing a video tutorial. For each project, once you've selected the project, you have all of this capability and functionality. So I'll just show you a simple how you create basically a new project. You just select the project, create new. You could call whether you define the project name, a description, whether it's a local, private, or stealth project. If it's stealth, nobody knows it exists. It has to be an invitation only. If it's local, you can see it, but you still need to be invited. And public is you could just join the project. And then in this case, you could set up whatever dates, start date, end date, any particular costs, so on and so forth. It does provide the ability to attach a legal documents. So in some projects, it may require confidentiality or non-disclosure, and you start your project. Once the project's been set, it's very simple. For each project and group, you have all this functionality. So we'll start with discussions. I had started a discussion already, and you could see that I've attached a document to the discussion, and it's very simple to reply to a discussion and continue the dialogue. Anything that is a document or reference that is attached to a discussion thread is automatically captured in our resource section, so that we understand at iQ4 that there's a lot of people involved, a lot of discussion threads like emails, but how do you coordinate and centralize information? So it was important for us to be able to create a way to centralize and organize information in one central resource. This information can be searched on, which we'll show you in a moment. You can also assign tasks or assignments. In this case, We've created an assignment for the video tutorial, which we're calling First Cut. And this assignment is to Frank Ciccio, and he was assigned the task of setting up the video and reviewing. We can also set up if you would, a process which we have under our lesson plans, which is the 4 steps in this particular project of what we go through in setting up a video tutorial. So defining the tutorial requirements. The second step will be the first cut, second cut, and final cut. These steps all have relevant information that's associated. So you could click on the step and see that in defining the tutorial requirements, there is actually a reference to a site. And so I just clicked on that reference, that link, and it took me right here to a site that could have or should have information that's relative to the setting up the video tutorial. So this is a great way to create, if you would, a very simple curriculum or process that's relevant to the project, that's self-paced, that relevant information can be attached to. So in this case, I attached a document, and that the members of the group can go to just understand what is required of them to be successful in this group. And you can also view the group through the visual network. We have a data visualization capability that if you don't want to go through and look at the drop-down list boxes, you can take a look and say, here's a tutorial video. It's part of the overall group activity, and it's a dynamic link to exactly where you can find information relevant to what you're working on. What I've been able to provide you here is just a background on simply how to set up a project once you've found students or members, and how to very quickly enter into discussions in a very secured way, share information, communicate with your members, track assignments, etc. And that wraps up the project part.